Page 160, Polovtsian Dance. I always call them Polovtsian dances. Whatever you call them, they're beautiful. I encourage you to go listen to the orchestras play these things. These are gorgeous. These are orchestra pieces. This is a nice arrangement. Let's talk about it. In the right hand, we got some things are getting trickier and trickier, and we're getting more advanced, and it's important that we get a grasp of this because it's only going to continue. So don't be in a hurry to, oh, I sort of got this, I'll go on. Get it before you go on, please. Now, if you're struggling and you're just, I don't know, please go back and start the book again and go through it again. If you don't have a teacher, I encourage you to go through these books at least twice and maybe 3 times just to make sure you really got everything, because you really need to get everything. So right hand first. This is in 4/4 time, and we're here to start. See, the first 2 A's, they want a 2 on the first one and a 1 on the second. The idea, because you could just as easily play them both with thumb. But the idea is, sit back and relax. There are different fingering styles used in piano. Different people use different styles. Different teachers teach different styles. There's been a whole lot of famous and really well-educated piano teachers over the hundreds of years, and many of them had their own style of teaching, their own style of presenting things, their own style of doing things. That includes fingering. Then I was presented with various styles because each teacher had their own. And that's fine. If you have a teacher, you just do what they're telling you to do. And later, if you get a different teacher and they do it different, that's fine. Do what they're telling you to do, because ultimately you'll be able to put them together and you'll come up with what feels right for you, what works for you. The style I use has certain characteristics to it. It's like legato. I like to feel everything legato. So when I first learn a piece of music, I connect everything because I want to try and play it with the fingers legato, connect it. It helps me choose which finger plays what note. So far, the music has been simple enough that it's been pretty straightforward. You're in a 5-finger position more or less, and that's where you are. But you're going to start moving around, and so things get trickier. Well, one of the concepts of fingering, and I like it, I use it, I recommend it, is that when you have repeated notes, most of the time, not always, most of the time you'll use different fingers on those notes. You won't play, let's say this A, I won't play that A with the same finger. That gets tired, especially if it's quick. It gets tiring real quick, and so you develop a habit of using different fingers on it because it makes it easier. And there's all kinds of patterns of this. If it's A, I could do 1 and 2, alternate. I could do 1 and 3, alternate. 1 and 4, it's a little trickier. Don't use that too much. But 1 and 3 and 1 and 2 quite a bit. You can do a 3-2-1, 3-2, 4-2-1, 4-3-2-1. The point is, I'm using different fingers on repeated notes. That's all. And this is what we're doing here. We have 2 A's. We're simply going to use 2 fingers on them. And because we're in this position ultimately, then we want the thumb to be the last one we do. The last second one, not the first. Because then we got to reach up. If we do it 1, 2, then we got to reach up for the little. We can do that. There's no. It's just simpler to do a 2-1. And that's a good concept. I highly encourage that. I thought about it when we did that French dance thing, because you have all those repeated notes. But now, one thing at a time. Okay. So at the beginning, 2-1, 3-4-1. That's tied to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and rest and now cross over. It's almost like a scale, except we skip the F sharp. So that's okay. You could almost do a 1-2 there if you didn't want to use thumb on both of those E's. Just reach up with a 4th. And then going on, this is top of page 161, second measure. or measure 8 if you're following the measure numbers. See the little numbers at the beginning of each line and the box? That's a measure number. So you count across from that. This measure 8. And then it's a 4, 1. So again, we just changed. This time it wasn't because it's a repeated note. It's because we're changing hand positions. Because this is one way we change hand positions. I mean, it's just handy that those happen to be the fingers used, but that's okay, we can do that. That's fine, whatever it needs. And then in the next line, the second measure, you cross over again. Like you did before? Yeah. The left hand, for the most part, keep the left hand soft. It's the 4 chord or the C chord, and then the D7 or 5/7 chord. You learn to recognize these chords, and that way you're not struggling with the notes. Or what are these notes? These are terrible. You just think of it as a chord. A 4 chord, 5/7 chord, 1 chord. That's fine. Put the hands together. Here, the beginning. 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. See, on 1, the right hand comes up. 4, 1, 3. Hold that down, it's a whole note. Like so. So you work it out, the whole thing. Let's go down to the last line just to see if there's anything tricky going on. We're down here. 1 and 2. See, I'm holding that G down all that time. 1 and then a thumb, and then reach up for the octave. G, remember the octave? We talked about octaves. Just reach up, and then you can collapse because there's no other notes around. And that's for 4 counts. And okay. Then we add the articulation. Well, here really it's just the phrasing, the slurs. And the rests help you out because generally most of the time you have a rest between the slurs. Actually, in this case, I think pretty much all the time you have a rest between the slurs. But maybe at the end, at the bottom of page 161, in that second measure, you hear you're lifting up here. It's got 2 anyway because it's a chord. You're playing the G twice. So connect everything. Then we add the dynamics. Moderately soft at the beginning, that's the melody. These chords have to be very soft. Keep the left hand soft. Now, they give you the one dynamic at the beginning and you don't get anything else until the end of the first line on page 161. Here, you go up. Now you're a little louder to moderately loud. No. You're not going to play all of page 160 at one set level. You're in this area. You can get a little louder and softer. But you got to get to know the piece well enough to feel it. Maybe you want to get a little louder there, then come down. Maybe I got soft there. And at the end of the phrase, you can come down at the end of a phrase, get a little soft. You feel it. So don't try and just play the whole thing at one set dynamic level. Yuck. Then you get a little louder, up to moderately loud. That's the right hand. Keep the left hand out of the way. And you're staying there more or less in that area. You get a little louder and softer as you feel it until the end, the last couple of measures. Now you're going to go all the way down to very soft. So moderately loud and retardando, the R-I-T, that means slow down. Softer. Very soft. It's almost too soft, but that's what they said, very soft. Okay, we do very soft. Then we add pedal to help with, really, for this it's more the overtones. We want a full sound here because this is a gorgeous piece. So we're going to use the overlapping pedal, or the legato pedal, whatever you want to call it. This has various names. Well, while it's waiting. So the notes first, then the pedal. And I'm going to lift the pedal up after I play the chord in the left hand in the next measure. After it. And then I don't pedal this. Now I put the pedal down after I play the measure 3. After I play the dotted half note, I'll put the pedal down. Keep it down. Lift it up as I play the B. Keep the left hand down, it's a whole note. Now I don't pedal any of this. And then the same thing on page 161, same pedaling. Last 2 measures, put the pedal down after you play the note. And lift the pedal up with the note at the same time, together. That's pedaling, that's really. It helps to add overtones and fullness, but we don't want to pedal these 8th notes. That would smear it, and that ruins the effect. It's not a smeary piece, it's a lovey-dovey piece. So, yeah. Speed-wise, Andante sort of, you'll go listen to the recordings of the orchestras. It's different orchestras have played at different speeds to give you an idea of what it goes to. I would like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I'll give us 4 counts. Now let's do it together slowly. 1, 2, ready, go. 4, off. There's a duet part for this at the bottom of the pages. I'd like to play that, and you play what we just played, but I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I'll give us 4 counts. Let's play it together. Now for this to work, I need you to go up an octave again. So just pretend the middle C is an octave higher up here. And instead of here, play it up here. There. And we'll play it together. 1, 2, ready, go. Two, 3, 4, off.